Hello, everybody. Well, before I begin my story, I want to make a disclaimer statement, one that's very important. This is my nursing story. I do make reference to sexual abuse, domestic violence, and drug abuse. I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia in a row home during the 70s. There were plenty of kids running around during the summer, block parties with lots of live music, and everybody dancing in the street having a great time. We played stickball. Sometimes we'd cut off the stick from an old broom and use a pimple ball. During the wicked winters, me and my friends would get together and grab our shovels, start shoveling the neighborhood. Sometimes we would do it for money. Money's always good. But yet sometimes we would also help the older neighbors because we knew the older neighbors couldn't do it. My father would curse because he had to put chains on the tires so he wouldn't get stuck or slide down the street. Though I seemed like other kids in my neighborhood, I really wasn't. By the time I was 5, I was being molested by my father. At the same time, I realized I was struggling in school. I couldn't concentrate. I was having difficulty memorizing. I felt different. I felt ashamed, not even realizing what I was ashamed of. When I was 10, we moved out of a row home in Northeast Philadelphia, and my parents bought a home near Nabisco. While the delicious smell of vanilla wafers lit up the neighborhood, I noticed my mother often complained of being tired. She was fatigued. She had trouble walking. She had trouble speaking, getting numbness in her legs and hands. She was eventually diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. My father was still taking advantage of me, and the beatings from my father got worse. Oh, the police were often called, but they said it was a domestic situation and I remained in the custody of my parents. A few years after living in the far Northeast, my parents divorced. My father didn't want to take care of my mother. Hell, he could barely take care of himself due to his ongoing drug abuse, which, by the way, had been going on since I can remember. My mother and I moved to a one-bedroom apartment back in our old neighborhood in Frankfort Avenue and Ron Street. We didn't have much. I didn't have a bed. I slept on the sofa. I put my clothes in the closet because I didn't have a bureau. I became a parent to my mother at 12. I had to get up 2 hours before school, iron her clothes, make her tea, help her get dressed, walk her to the bus, make sure she'd get on the bus. And when I was done school at the end of the day, I come right home and repeat the same cycle. When I reached my senior year in high school, my father was hospitalized with AIDS. I wanted nothing to do with him. I had suffered enough sexual, physical, and mental abuse from him. So I never spoke to him again. I was 17. I dropped out of high school to continue caring for my mother. I did go back the next year. And once I graduated from high school, I attended community college in Philadelphia because I knew getting an education was going to be my way out for a better life. Keep in mind, I still haven't told anyone about the physical or sexual abuse from my father and the neglect from my mother. While attending community college, I was having so much trouble with the science courses. I went to the professor and explained my problem. He directed me to speak to somebody from the disabilities office. Well, needless to say, I didn't know there was a disabilities office, and I didn't even think I had a disability. I knew that I was having trouble learning, but I just didn't think I had a disability. Well, the person I spoke with at the disabilities office didn't seem surprised at what I was telling her. I noticed that she knew exactly what to say to calm me down because I really was sobbing in her chair. She suggested I get tested to see where my weaknesses are and ways to overcome them. This was the first time I opened up about what happened to me during my childhood. I was told by the disabilities person I wasn't sure how to choose a career. You see, the fear of failing was greater than the fear of doing nothing with my life. And that I couldn't tolerate. I've always been told by teachers I was friendly, outgoing, but that was to hide the shame I felt by not being smart. And I wanted to create a facade so that nobody would know what was going on at home and the shame that I felt. I was determined not to let, I did get tested at the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. My full IQ score and my working short term memory was far below average, but my verbal comprehension was tested at average. I was determined not to let the results interfere with me getting an education. Once I came to the harsh reality that I wasn't going to get through the nursing science courses, I decided just to complete my education at the Philadelphia Community College with an associate's degree. Then I transferred to LaSalle University, where I earned a bachelor's degree. Along with my degree, I earned a national standing when I scored a 76 on the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technician state boards. You see, I didn't earn a nursing degree due to educational limitations, but I now work alongside the smart, trusted, and educated nurses as an emergency room tech. I'm compassionate. I'm willing to be there for anybody that needs it. I have an abundant amount of empathy, sympathy, and compassion for people. Along with those qualities, my strong will and tenacity helped reshape my career into a job that I'm proud of while utilizing the credentials I did earn. I really enjoy working as an emergency room tech. And you know what? I learned a few things along the way. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy mentoring paramedic students, and I enjoy training new staff. I am fortunate to work with some wonderful nurses who have inspired me to apply what I've learned, exemplify what I already know, and to get past personal obstacles to help others. My hope for my story is to inspire others and to let them know that there are many pathways to reach your dream. This is mine.
Ah, lovely, Sue. Thank you so much for sharing. I know there's a lot that went into this, and I think people listening at home got a lot out of it. I'm curious, do you have any particular advice or guidance for someone who's facing personal obstacles in their professional path?
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. The help is out there. As long as you're willing to ask, as long as you're willing to recognize it, it is there. Take advantage of it.
It's big.
Not always free.
No, but I love that you said that. That's a lesson that a lot of people need to hear. Many people need to hear time and again. But yeah, you said it yourself. Your will and tenacity got you where you are. So, Sue, thanks so much for sharing tonight.
Thank you, Neil.